This lecture series is entitled Millionaire Mind Power. This particular portion of the lecture is in reference to the supermental powers or supermental techniques, conceptualization of processes of the mind, and how to enhance mind power through positive thinking. This particular portion of this particular lecture is in reference to the concept of more than human in regards to the ultimate potential and ability of the Homo sapien or mankind. More than human is the point of reference concept that we will utilize to consider and explore the ultimate potential of mankind and how to enhance the mental powers that are innate within the genetic structure of mankind. Now, the core concept that we are going to focus on is more than human, and explaining the invention of the concept of human as a limited, primitive concept that ultimately interferes with mankind's access to the higher levels of mind power that is again innate in its genetic structure. Concepts could limit the biochemistry of the brain, thus making it difficult for the brain mind to access all of its power. Concepts like white, black, limited concepts of ethnicity and being, and also the concept of human with all of its primitive modes could compel a mind or being to be limited or to perceive that its limitations are not malleable, or that its abilities are set in stone in regards to the use of mind power. However, this is far from the truth. What we are referring to as mankind ultimately is intelligence. Intelligence has many forms. Intelligence in its highest levels is dynamic. Intelligence at its highest level is the ability to think within the context of dynamic options, not being restrained to rigid principles or concepts of nature. The point of reference that we will utilize to explore this particular concept is in regards to nature as a living entity, nature as a logic system, nature as basically a program. Now, it depends on how nature is viewed by the mind. The human mind could be structured into two basic concepts in regards to the utilization of the human mind: a limitus and a supremus. Limitus are humans who ultimately gravitate towards identifying with limitations of the mind. An example of this would be the statements that the human mind is limited in what it can know and what it could perceive. Also, limitus could be conceptualized as individuals that often start out with trying to define themselves by what they cannot do and what they, rather than what they can do, or what basically they could quite possibly accomplish. The limiters, 99.1% of the mental activity is more so focused on its limitations, where the supremacist, within the context of mental powers, is more so concerned with utilizing the mental powers to its highest degrees, whether they are actualized or whether it is potential. The supremacist believes ultimately, or the psychological response gravitates towards the concept that the mind is capable of anything. Within these two particular concepts, the particular conceptualization and the physics and science of the brain chemistry of the supremacist is ultimately the point of reference for these particular lectures. And this is the preferred mental process, that the being relies on a concept that permits the being to be dynamic in its thinking and its limited and its ultimate mental processes, and not to be reliant upon concepts that ultimately limit the power of the mind.